Hi, this is Celeste. I'm an astrologer, coach, and intuitive, and today I'm here to talk to you about the full moon in Virgo. So let's get started. Okay, sharing my screen. Great. Let me just put myself, I don't know where I want to put myself. I'm going to put myself down here in the corner. Okay, great. So this full moon is on February 27th. It's a and 28th, depending on where you live in the world. So this quote really jumped out at me. The sun is in Pisces, the moon is in Virgo. Pisces really speaks to forgiveness. So this is a quote by the wonderful Maya Angelou, and it's so true. People will forget what you said, they'll forget what you did, but they will never, ever, ever forget how you made them feel. It is the truth. Ruth. Anyway, so the today's agenda, I'm going to try to keep this brief, less than 30 minutes. Talk about the signs, the full moon phase, the Virgo phase family, and then we'll dive into the chart and what it means for this each sign. Just some things for you to contemplate. Wonderful. So, as I mentioned, the sun is in Virgo, excuse me, the sun is in Pisces and the moon is in Virgo. These are both mutable water signs. At the full moon, the sun and the moon are 180 degrees apart. So you really can have a complete view. You can see all sides of each part of the issue. And the sun is like a representation of our identity, our essence, our life force. Where Pisces is in your chart, there is like a spotlight in that area being put this month. And Pisces is the sign of the dreamer. It's a water sign and it's mutable water. So the image is two fish swimming in opposite directions. Pisces energy loves to merge. It's about higher consciousness. When I think about it, it is a natural ruler of the 12th house of mental health. And it's also called the house of secrets, mysticism, isolation, institutions, things like that. But I really see this Pisces Virgo axis as a great time to look at, we're coming on a year where we have been in, depending where you are, some states of isolation or away from society. Our lives for most of the world have had, big shifts, and it's had an impact. So it's a really good time to think about ways to what you need to do to strengthen your mental health as well as your physical health as we continue to go through this, difficult situation of a worldwide pandemic. Yes. So it also calls, so like examining your mental health. What are you doing to work on making sure you are taking care of yourself, have forgiveness for yourself as well as others. It's also a time for dreaming and being creative and compassionate. Pisces energy is just vast. I find myself often a little uncentered during this time of the year. There's like, and I think it's great because it's the last sign of the zodiac. It gives us a chance to go inward and think within, but start before we start the new zodiacal year in Aries with that big outward push. So it's a good time to to settle into your body knowledge and your emotional body. And that's what the moon is for. The moon represents our subconscious. It's our emotions, feelings, instincts. And the beauty of astrology is it helps us make our subconscious conscious. So we take this time to really dive in and get quiet and look at, what's going on with ourselves. And Virgo energy is mutable earth sign. Sorry, I'll have to fix that on this slide. It's not mutable water, it's mutable earth. And it's about physical health. We're thinking of the practical precision. Um, it rules the sixth house of the body. And it's really a great time to think about your physical body, your eating habits. Are you, eating too much, eating too little, not eating the right things? Are you getting enough sleep? Really take some time to think about these issues during this moon cycle. Now, also, we want to, not settle into Virgo is a beautiful sign, but perfectionism and criticism of self or others. We want to pull ourselves out of that and make sure we're taking this look to be helpful, not hurtful to our own selves or others. Great. So let's talk again about just the full moon. We know, so the cycle, we start at the new moon and then the light waxes, it grows at the moonlight up until the first quarter, and we have a crisis period where we adjust what we're doing. So we set our intentions at the new moon, we start putting them into action as the moon's light grows. The first quarter, we have this crisis point, and then we make some changes, and then the light continues to grow for our push forward. And then at the full moon, all is illuminated. They are 180 degrees apart, the sun and the moon. They are facing off. We can see each of them fully. And the energies are are compatible always. They're either yin or yang signs. And so Pisces and Virgo are both yin signs. Earth and water are yin signs, calling us to take a look within. As well, we have an opportunity for clear vision. We also have to keep in mind, emotions are intensified at the full moon. The police know that they're going to encounter more issues. Um, Pisces energy can be the energy of, wanting to escape. So you can have at times this time, I can see potentially there's more risk of people, overdoing it with mind altering substances. So keep that in mind. You'll see the hospitals get more people around the full moon. And yeah, we just know that this is a time emotions are intensified. So it's a great time to examine your inner world and release what no longer serves you and shed the old story. We have an opportunity every month to, let some things go. It's also it's a culmination of the cycle. It's a time for celebration. Take some time to honor your progress from what you set out to do at the last new moon was in Aquarius. Ooh, and it was a time for new moon wishes and what have you. So it was just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful new moon. So take a look, like what has happened since then. Even if you're just visioning, that's fine. Take some time to celebrate. Great. And so with these moon phase families, it's a larger part of the story. So every month we have this 29-day cycle to set intentions and move through them. And after the full moon, the light starts to wane, and we start to wrap things up and release. But there also is this larger 27-month cycle where there is a new moon at a degree of a sign. So we see here it was 6 Virgo back in August of 2019, and some kind of story started in your life. And if this is activating any of your personal planets or points, the story is likely bigger. So even if you weren't working intentionally, something kind of starts percolating in your life. And then 9 months later, we have a first quarter moon So this was at 9 Virgo in May of 2020. So in May of 2020, whatever the story was became visible in your life. So it's a good time to think about back to these events. A lot of times we don't see the seeds that were planted in the dark, but oh, we can see something about the story in May of 2020. That was when we were in COVID, that we had realized, this is not ending quickly. Think back about these Virgo things, about how you serve, about your health, your physical health, how you were taking care of your body. Did you, slack off going to the gym? Have you gotten back into it? What was going on? So whatever happened around then, it's a really good chance on February 2021 to look at, you know, what this story is in relation to yourself with a lot more visibility. Um, yes, my Peloton bike is getting delivered on Friday, so I am planning to get back into the groove of things. I've been slowly inching back, but I tried to do stuff online for a while, and then it was tough, but I'm finally starting to shed some of the COVID pounds. It wasn't too bad, but anyway, you don't want to hear about my problems, but anyway. And then by November, I'm so excited to see how cute I look in November after I will have had my new exercise bike for 9 months. Yeah, and that'll be a time for me to reward myself with some cute new clothes. So here we go. So this is the chart of this full moon in Virgo. I think it's a lot of beautiful energy. As you can see, the moon is all by herself over here, and this is like forming a handle to these other planets. So we still have this Aquarius stellium, a stellium being 3 or more planets in the same sign, or if we're looking at our natal chart houses. So we have 3 planets in Aquarius, the sign of, the vision, the sign of humanitarian ideals, the sign of being your individualistic self. It's also the sign of the rebel and the exile, but let's focus on the vision. Unless you do need to rebel against something in your life or in structure that you see is unjust. Yes, and then Pisces energy is this creative energy. So this is a really beautiful month to go within and find some new creative thoughts about your vision. There's no fire in the sky, and fire is our, the life-giving force that propels us forward to take action. So again, this is about the vision, internal. I see this as very internal, but Mercury, how we think and communicate, and Jupiter, the planet of expansion, are in a nice relationship with the North Node and Gemini, which speaks to where we are going towards as individuals, as a culture, as society. And Gemini is it's ruled by Mercury, about the facts, learning. I think everyone should be, working on getting new skills as we are in this new world. So think about that when you think about this relationship. I really see it as dream big, vision, be creative, come up with stuff. If you have a vision board, work on it, and just don't edit yourself. Just put whatever things comes to your mind. You've got to see it you've got to think it to believe it. And Neptune is the ultimate manifester, and it's at home in Pisces. Venus will have moved into Pisces along with the sun. This creative, beautiful, loving, supportive energy. Yes, I love it. There's also an energy for healing. We have a yod, which is the moon is in a relationship that needs adjustment to Saturn and to Chiron. So Saturn is our planet, is the planet of structure, stability. It's the karmic teacher. It's our life lessons. It's yeah, it's the Lord of Karma. So Saturn it wants what's best for us. It's our teacher that teaches, it's about the maturation process. And Chiron, the wounded healer, speaks to where we have a wound as a child and how we can grow and heal ourselves and share that healing energy with others. So there's this, it's called a quincunx. It's this tense energy between the moon and Saturn and the moon and Chiron. But Chiron and Saturn at the base, they are sextiling each other. So when the planets get sexy with each other, there is an opportunity. And in the yang signs of Aquarius and Aries, there is an opportunity to get healing from others or help others heal, heal yourself. Yeah, like I talked about earlier, if you have any unhealthy mental, physical habits, it's a really good energy, very positive, in my opinion, to do some self-healing. So don't let this opportunity go by. Make sure you have a little full moon ritual where you sit, maybe journal. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, the messenger, so it's great for journaling and put your thoughts down on paper on how you're going to, help yourself or someone else heal as well as forgive. It's been a tough time. People have done things, said things, what have you, that we may regret, and really give people grace this period is my suggestion. So some other things I like to also look at the fixed stars. Rigel is one of the royal stars. So the sun is what's called parallel. So it's out there, it's the declination, and you can Google that if you want to understand it better. It's the, what is that? The vertical, they're parallel. Yeah, so it has a similar energy of a conjunction. And Rigel is about the educator and the scholar, government reform. We're talking this week about the stimulus plan. Hopefully this is good news that, people who need help financially will get some relief. Maybe we'll have some positive news about kids going back to school. I mean, kids are just, wow, this is a long time for them to be isolated and out of a normal, routine where they can interact with their peers and what have you. So I'm hoping for some good news about that. But also, I did see today some of the teachers are being able, at least in California here, to get the vaccine so they can go back safely. Some people just want to throw these teachers under the bus. There have been dozens, and maybe I don't know how many, of teachers who have died from COVID because, you know, they're not 8 like the students anyway. Yeah. There's been some really sad stories about teachers, and the teachers unions are trying to, work to protect the teachers. It's a real balance. It's a very difficult situation we are all in here. So Mars is also conjunct the fixed star of Algol, and it's one of the most feared stars. It's my sun, moon, no, my ascendant, midheaven, midpoint is on Algol. So it's like, oh, it's 26 Taurus. We are having a eclipse on it in November. So it will be very interesting to see how my whole life changes it's a toggle switch of your chart. But anyway, it's a feared fixed star, but it represents all that men fear about the feminine. So let's see if we see a story about a powerful woman this week of setting the status quo, or, it's also about passionate obsessions. Very interesting. Great. So this is a Sabian symbol for the moon. So when we look at the Sabian symbols, we saw on the other page, the moon is at 8 Virgo, but we always look at the number above. So we look at 9 Virgo. And I love Linda Hill's book, where she goes into, she talks about each of these symbols. It was Elsie Wheeler, a a clairvoyant. She was like this blind clairvoyant, sat under a tree in San Diego with, I think it was Mark Edmonds. You can Google it. Um, and they went through every single degree of the zodiac, all 360. And she had a vision, an image come to her for each of these. And it often, we can see something within the story of when we have activations of these degrees. And if you should look up your Sabian symbols for your birth chart and see if it connects with you. I know mine connect with me. So it's an expressionist painter making a futuristic drawing. And I just love this image I found. It just seems so, it just seems so Piscean and Virgoan. So Piscean with all the water, um, and the fish, and Virgo with the, the lush greenery. We think about the harvest when we think about Virgo. And yeah, so really dream. It's, I like this for dreaming big, thinking outside the box, thinking about the future in a positive way with that Mercury and Jupiter trying the North Node. So yeah, so maybe this image will help creativity come to you. Great. So now let's talk about what it means for each of the signs. So if you are an Aries, the sun is shining on your house of mental health, and the moon is in Virgo, is in your house of physical health. So this is a really good time to think about your mental and physical health. Yes. Really takes some time. Now, if you're Taurus, it's about, the sun is in the house of the group, hopes and dreams, and the moon is in the house of joy, about children, dating, sex. So this is also the axis of your own children versus other people's children. The sun is shining on other people's children. So maybe think about something nice you can do, or whatever forgiveness you need to have about other people's children. And also, how are you creating for yourself? Is there something you need to release in this area, or forgive? Yeah, forgive yourself about your own children. That's a great thing to do. Yeah. Yeah. And if you need more sexy time with your partner, it's a good time for merging. Yes. Okay. And Gemini, career versus the private self. So yes, yeah. How are you taking care of yourself and your physical body with, if you are an essential worker out there every day, putting your life at risk, versus if you are trying to homeschool your kids and do your work and all this kind of stuff, or if you're out of work and really struggling, um, maybe think about some vision about adding skills and career change. If your career is like essentially gone due to COVID or something like that, yeah, it's a good time to think about those things. And if you're a Cancer sun or rising, yeah, you read your sun and your rising for these. So they give you, a couple things to think about, assuming they're different. Yeah. So this is about what new skills do you want to develop? The ninth house is a house of higher learning, travel, broadcasting. You could think about, do you want to start like some podcast or an Instagram channel or Clubhouse? And the moon is, yeah, it's about communication. This is the axis of communication. Think about your siblings. Is there anything you need to forgive or connect or help them out with? It's about, Virgo's also about service. Yeah. And this is your local community as well. So think about your local community. Leo, it's the axis of shared versus personal resources. So it's a really good time to think about your money. I've seen, some people we're seeing, I've seen with clients and whatnot, we're talking about, kind of overspending during this time with on the internet. People are bored. have nothing, not much to do. So think about how you are saving versus spending. Yeah, and Virgo, the moon is in your first house. So really, and the sun is shining on your partnership. So this is a good time to think about the health of your primary relationships as well as yourself, your vitality. And that's very natural to Virgos. Now, try not to be too critical. Just, this we're thinking about healing things and forgiveness. Yes. And Libra, yeah, so Libra, it's the flip of Aries. So the sun is shining on your house of daily life and the moon in your house of mental health. So really think about Libras can sometimes have be a bit indecisive on which way they want to go. So are there decisions you need to just make? Think about that and think about, yeah, being healthy and balanced. And Libras often can tend to do too much for the other. Yeah, Cancers, Libras, and Virgos all are very other focused. So make sure you're taking care of yourself as well. And then Scorpio, yes. So the sun and a house of romance. Ooh, this is a nice energy for Scorpios to maybe if you're single and ready to mingle, think about, what you really want. Um, and how you're connecting with your social groups. So Scorpios can sometimes tend to become too withdrawn. There's the risk of depression and whatnot. So yeah, think about bring some fun and creativity back into your life if it's not already there. And if there, what do you need to release? If there are any groups that aren't serving you, also forgiveness and things like that. Just think about and other people's children versus your own children. Again, this is that axis. Sagittarius, yeah, the sun is shining a light on your private self and the moon on your career and place in the world. So are there things you need to release? Are there things, meetings that you don't have to go to? Yeah, forgiveness around your colleagues or what have you, or yourself for having to manage so much stuff. Yeah, that's the axis for you. And Capricorn, yeah, communication, the sun shining on the house of networking and your community. So yes, are you still keeping up your networking with your colleagues or your community members so that you can, achieve whatever goals you want to? And yeah. Is there any big story you need to release with the moon in the ninth house of philosophy? What have you learned over this last year? Have you learned about some things you thought were true and realized they were not? Have you fully released that old story? And Aquarius, this is for you. It's a sun shining on your house of personal resources. Again, um, and the moon in the house of sex, death, and other people's money. Or do you need to release control? The eighth house is also about power. Is there something you need to release about power over or feeling like you're power under other people, or your personal savings? It's the axis of shared resources. And last but not least, Pisces. Yes, this is sun is shining on yourself. It's a really good time to take a critical look at how you're taking care of yourself. Are you able to Pisces can be, absorb other people's emotions, that merging quality. Are you making sure to keep yourself healthy and keep some boundaries between you and the other? This is a really good time to think about healing, as well as yeah, in terms of your relationships with others. You can do too much. Are you getting your needs met? Is there something you need to release or forgiveness that needs to happen? And yes, so yeah, take good care of yourself, Pisces. And that is it. So here are the resources. Now this presentation will be uploaded on the YouTube channel and you can download it if you so desire. Again, the lunar shadows, those 27 and a quarter month moon phase cycles were with the same degree goes approximately of a sign goes through the new moon, the first quarter full and last quarter phase, a bigger story, great for projects and things. That is Dietrich Pessin was the astrologer who figured that out. And this book is fantastic, but this book is for like astrologers. If you want to just have a better understanding of it, and get the basics, Frank Clifford wrote an article. You can just Google it. There's Linda Hill's book, and you can buy that online. And she also has these oracle cards in the back, so you can use the Sabian symbols as an oracle and like pull a card for the number, the degree, and for the sign. Yeah, it's a really beautiful book. And yeah, Moonology and the Book of the Moon. Moonology is about um, the moon, what to do at the new and full moon. And I love Stephen Forrest's book, and Solar Fire software is what I use. So, how can you find me? So, this is my website, astrologybyceleste.com. You can subscribe to my mailing list for extra goodies. Right now, I have my Sync with the Moon guide. I'm writing a new guide about the moon phases. So keep your eyes peeled for that. You can book a reading, an event, or a coaching program. And then I'm on Instagram Live every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. PST. I talk about current events in relationship to astrology. Then I talk about people who have been in the news as well. Typically, it's an eclipse story. They have been activated by these eclipses that we just had. And then I pulled 3 cards for either the moon phase or the week or what have you. So thank you so much. It's been my pleasure to share my thoughts on the Virgo full moon. Please subscribe to my channel, drop a comment. If you like this, hit the thumbs up, and have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful full moon. Release what does not serve you. Forgive yourself and take good care of your health. Goodbye.